I'm Kevin Norville. I am the HR director here at Tipico. We're based here in Malta. Myself, I am originally American, as you can see by the accent, and I moved to Malta 2 years ago to take on this role.
And can you tell us a few things about tipico.com, please?
Yeah, Tipico is a sports betting company. It has both online and retail products. Our main market is Germany. Our main focus is primarily on sports betting, so it gives the opportunity for our customers to do things like place a bet on football matches on the weekend with their favorite football team. As I said, our primary market is Germany. We also have offices and operations in Austria. We have them in Denmark, Belgium, and also operations in Italy. Our headquarters here, however, are in lovely Malta.
This I can see. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You're running a global company here as the HR director.
Mm-hmm.
How easy is it with so many employees? I think in the region of 600, if I'm not mistaken, and 250 approximately here in Malta. How easy is it, or how difficult is it?
Yeah, well, it's actually not so difficult, to be honest. And I can tell you why. I tell you why it's not so difficult is because our company has set itself up in a way that our culture is built around trust, it's built around transparency, innovation, how we share information. So right from the get-go, our company has been one which is, has this dynamic culture as part of it. Now, having said that, you're right, there are some challenges along the way from an HR point of view, but what we try to do from an HR perspective is to ensure that everything that we're doing is on the cutting edge of HR. It's reflective of who our company is, it's reflective of what our culture really is, and it gives me the chance actually to do some experimenting in the HR space. And one of the things that I always talk to my colleagues about is, I don't want to copy and paste from other companies. What I want to do is to be ahead of the game. So I'm always challenging my team members to think about new ways to do things, how we can reinvent certain processes, how we can even eliminate processes
if they are. Example?
Yes, I'll give you actually a great example. One of the things that we've started at the moment, we're underway with a review of our performance management process. And we have conducted interviews with our executives. I've talked to all of the people managers, those who have responsibility for leadership within the organization. And now I'm talking to some of the employees around what are the enhancements that we might want to make to the performance management process. What keeps coming up over and over again is how we can get away from the standard classical style of performance management where you set your KPIs at the beginning of the year, you have a review in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year you get your end of the year appraisal, which eventually results in performance rating, which at some point will result in some form of performance reward. What we're looking at now is actually going to what we call a real-time feedback model, where we don't wait for certain periods of time in the year to actually give people feedback on their performance, but rather how we can constantly and from many different angles within the company give individuals feedback on how they're performing, not only on objectives they set for the year, but on very specific deliverables like projects they're working on, process improvement they're working on, meetings they've held, contacts they've made with either customers, improvements they've made in a marketing process, or how they've analyzed certain data, right, with an end result. So we're looking at how we can maybe transition from this kind of traditional model to this maybe forward-thinking model of giving real-time feedback in terms of performance management.
Very innovative, and it fits with your values.
Yes, it does.
So as the last question, you talked about transparency, you talked about trust. Can you tell us how you build trust? Because that's the subject of my upcoming book as well. Trust is a new currency. How do you build trust? How are you transparent? If you can elaborate on that just.
Yeah, sure. I think first of all, you have to determine that you want to be transparent and that you do want to build trust up as one of the values in your company. And it's the type of thing that I think trust you have to earn. It's not something that's automatically granted, right? And you've been around the offices here, you've seen the offices, you know that just the physical structure of our offices permits transparency. And by that, for those of the people who are viewing your video may not have had the luxury of seeing the office here, the way that we've constructed the offices, many of the walls are made of glass. That means if you're sitting in the executive's office, if you're sitting in anyone's office, there really should be no impediment between you and them. They can see what you're doing, you can see what they're doing. First of all, that's a sign of I have nothing to hide. Okay, that's a very basic building block. And from there, what you can do in terms of building up trust, of course, is when you say something, you obviously follow through with it. If you commit to something, you deliver it. But the other thing I also think about building trust, and it may seem quite fundamental, but trust is a two-way street. So just as an executive or the directors of this company are trying to build out this company, they don't have all of the ideas. What we like to see also is the ideas flowing from the bottom of the company up to the top. So we have granted, of course, access to everyone, to the executives. So if you have ideas, you should feel no reason why you couldn't go to any of the executives at any of the time and voice your opinion. Then it is incumbent upon him or her to act on that. And what we do show is that we are able to go back to those people who've made the recommendations and say, we factored your idea in, and this is the outcome of that idea. Or maybe not now, we'll parking lot that and hold it for the future. So there's this continual dialogue of back and forth between the employees and the executives.
And involvement as well. And you've been great. Another just a simple question. I saw some boards going all over the floors that track the progress of various products or upcoming products or projects. Can you please tell us about those boards, because they were very intriguing. That was very
intriguing. Sure. I'll be glad to, Michael. Essentially what we do is we have these walls, is what we call them, and we use sticky notes to kind of display on the wall the different projects, the different steps we're taking in projects, or the rollout of projects, right? And this wall gives everyone a very visual way of seeing where we are in the process. It also gives an interactive way for people to discuss what the priorities are, where the risks are, where we potentially need some help in completing some of the tasks in the different steps. And normally what we do with these walls is we take about 15 minutes in a day, in the morning normally, to just have a discussion around the wall, around the board, where we are, what's important that day, who's focusing on what, and who might need help. And that gives us a very quick way to adjust our work balance. It gives us a quick way to reprioritize if we need to. And in some ways, it's actually kind of fun. If you think about it, you're standing at the wall, you're taking a sticky note, and you're moving it along this progression path, right? And it's nice to see how, in a very visual and transparent way, how you're actually making progress and completing the projects that we're working on.
Excellent. Allow me to say that it's an honor and a pleasure being here, and it's an even bigger honor that I will be addressing your team next week, Tuesday. So thank you for giving me this chance, Kevin.
Michael, the honor's ours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.